Our next video is part 159. It's line 18A, 3z2b8. And this is the last one for that comment for Electric Universe. There's 9 videos altogether. Pioneer 11, Anomaly, Acceleration, Solar Neutrinos, Tevatron Fermilab, W Bosons CERN 5G Wow Seti. There's our alien radio signal. Pioneer 11 came up before. Now this is something different. This is called the Pioneer Anomaly. Effect, new data, and new imagination. And this is St. Louis, Missouri, April 13, 2008 from the American Physical Society meeting. And these are all the names of the people in the video here. So Pioneer 11, quote, the Pioneer Anomaly or Pioneer Effect is observed deviation from predicted accelerations of the Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11 spacecraft after they passed about 20 astronomical units, which is this, on their trajectories out of the solar system. Both the Pioneer spacecraft are escaping the solar system but are slowing under the influence of the sun's gravity, so they're slowing down. Upon very close examination of the navigational data, the spacecraft were found to be slowing slightly more than expected. The effect is an extreme small but unexplained acceleration towards the sun of that. So they don't know why they slowed down and then started accelerating towards the sun. The 2 spacecraft were launched in 1972 and 73, and the anomalous acceleration was first noticed as early as 1980. Sorry, 7 years later. But not seriously investigated until 1994, 14 years later. Wow, that's crazy. Sorry, it took them 14 years to find out it was accelerating. And took them that. I'm sorry. It's just a long time for data to be looked at. I don't know. I guess somebody overlooked it or something. So the last communication with either spacecraft was in 2003. So basically, they've lost contact with these 2, Pioneer 10 and 11. They don't even know where they are. Well, they have a rough idea where they've gone, but they haven't heard from them since. But analysis of the recorded data continues. They're still looking at all the data that it sent in. Wow. Most recent developments point towards the mundane cause of thermal radiation pressure forces inherent in the spacecraft. So February 26, 2012, my thoughts. Now I know why Pioneer 11 showed up in the Wow Seti lines of data. It actually did show up in the Wow data. It talks about them slowing down more than expected and how they were an unexplained accelerating towards the sun of this amount. CERN and T2K Experiments. Have you had this same kind of reading of energy in your neutrino experiments and calculations with the differences in speed of light based on data found here on the internet? Just wondering. So what I'm wondering is, they had a difference in the speed calculations of the speed of light. It was a certain equation. I'm just wondering if by chance it's the same as this equation. That would be very interesting to find out if it was. Publish the exact calculations of difference in speeds for all neutrino tests, and I can find out if anything else has come up with the same thing from various countries, papers published online for the public to read. Thanks for making your test results public for all of us to read. Fermilab is CERN. I just did a Google on this anomaly. So I Googled the number to see if anything else would come up. Okay? And this is what I found. It's a PPT, PowerPoint presentation from Fermilab from vsstreamer1.fnal.gov. It's a lecture posted March 27th, 2007. Sorry, March 2000. Pioneer F10 at the Cape Pioneer, so it's 1970. So he's got the calculations coming up there. And then it says the Fermi National Acceleration Laboratory, which is Fermilab, located just outside of Batavia, Illinois, near Chicago, is a U.S. Department of Energy National Laboratory. Then it brought up Fermilab physicists have detected a possible new particle or new force. Now this is interesting. I'm not sure if there's been more written about this or not, this new particle. So this may be the most significant discovery in the physics in half a century by Rebecca Boyle She posted this on April the 6th, 2011, or June the 4th, 2011. I'm not sure how she does her dates. You guys would know. So it's www.popsci.com. Here's a nice little picture for you. This is the Tevatron Fermilab. Big, huge thing. Wow, massive. Physicists at Fermilab might have found evidence of a new elementary particle or an entirely new force of nature. Suggesting the nation's biggest science experiment is about to go out with a bang. A new analysis of 10,000 proton-antiproton collisions at the Tevatron showed a weird result a couple hundred times. The numbers do not agree with the accepted theory of elementary particles and the forces that govern them. So basically what they're saying is post-collision jets of electrons and heavy particles called W bosons did not behave as they should. So basically you're going to have to come up with some new ideas for your calculations to explain them. And maybe some of the formulas I've posted here might help you do just that. February 26, 2012, my thoughts. The W boson's new particle found at this Tevatron Fermilab experiment. Quote, a new analysis of the 10,000 proton-antiproton collisions at the Tevatron showed a weird result a couple hundred times. Numbers do not agree with the accepted theories of elementary particles and the forces that govern them. Post-collision jets of electrons and heavy particles called W bosons did not behave as they should. I found another quote from the New York Times, Dennis Overby. He explains, in about 250 times more cases than expected, the total energy of the jets clustered around a value of about 144 billion electron volts. That's a lot of power. I don't know how much power that is, but it seems like quite a bit. As if they were the decay products of a hitherto unsuspected particle with that mass energy. Again, I wonder if this comes in with my theory with the neutrinos splitting into 4 quarks, but you can't see them. This might be proving that there is something going on there. There are actually a few anomalies in the data, including asymmetrical behavior of top quarks. There we go, see? Including asymmetrical behavior top quarks. You were looking for symmetrical, you wanted to prove that it worked, right? Together, the data suggests a new particle, a new force, or at least, the very least, a new behavior among recognized particles and forces. This new particle could be a new boson, though not the elusive Higgs. The Higgs decays into heavier particles than this new thing does. One theory posted to the physics ARXIV says it could be a new brand of Z boson. Another theory posts that it's a heavy version of a gluon. The particle that glues quarks together, reports Science News. It glues quarks together. Interesting. And that's from the www.popsci.com. My thoughts. This is where the idea of a neutrino, here we go again, splitting into 4 quarks can be possible according to this experiment. We use the formulas with the Z and W bosons along with the boson 8, adding to all formulas provided so far, and test them to see what happens according to this bit of data. Quote, last fall, Fermilab Physics said they detected evidence for a new class of neutrino, a sterile particle that only interacts through gravity. So it only interacts through gravity. Those results came out at the Mini Boon detector. This is the result of a different experiment, Tevatron CDF experiment. The team posted their results to the Physics RxV online and submitted the results to the Journal of Physical Review letters. As the Times points out, verifying these results would be an impressive finale for the Tevatron, which will shut down later this year when it runs out of money. I was shocked when I read that. But that leaves even more juicy targets for Large Hadron Collider. My thoughts. Why on earth would they shut this down if it detected a particle that could do this? Can this Fermilab detect smaller particles than the Large Hadron Collider with the formula ideas provided? And if that is the case, then you should be using their technology and integrate it into the newest collider that you have available for this kind of testing. Is the 2TK better and adapt to see smaller particles than the Fermilab? And if so, they should contact the team that did the work and get the notes and try this again by adding the new formulas to it. Since it's a joint world project, I'm sure they will not mind if you find out how dark matter works. Based on this data, we can use this technology to help create the UFO engine speeds required to travel faster in the universe, saving time, money, and an astronaut's health and well-being. The objective is to travel to one of those habitable planets and check out what they have for alien technology that can be shared and used worldwide to develop new gadgets for all of us to use and buy. Data to read. Good news for Higgs. Physicists pinpoint W boson. Work helps understand exotic particles. Narrows range of possible God particle energies. By Natalie Wolchover, Life's Little Mystery staff writer. And this was posted February 23rd, 2012, so it's recent. And it's from msnbc.msn.com in the technology and science area. So February 26, 2012, my thoughts. Key phrases in the article written by Natalie Wolchover stood out to me. Quote, the CDF team announced the new results at a seminar Thursday morning. As it turns out, the W boson has an energy also equivalent to mass of 80.387 billion electron volts, or giga electron volts, GeV, plus or minus 19 million electron volts, a narrow margin of error than existed previously. For comparison, a proton has a mass of about 0.938 GeV. The new level of certainty reduces the upper bounds of the Higgs mass from 161 GeV to 145 GeV. Rob Roser, in our world, we collide protons and antiprotons together, which means we're colliding 3 quarks inside the protons, with 3 antiquarks inside the antiprotons. And sometimes this makes a W boson. Roser told Live Science, quarks are the building blocks of protons, and antiquarks are their antimatter equivalents. However, when the 3 quarks collide with the 3 antiquarks, only 2 of the particles, so we have 3 and 3, so that's 6 altogether, right? Yet only 2 of the particles, the ones in front, so to speak, actually bash together. And so scientists don't know the full story of how energy was distributed in the collision. So they only see 2 in the front collide out of the 6, and yet there's energy generated. So what if they're sending some sort of electronic pulse to each other, like electricity, like a brain does? Roser said that knowing the mass of the W boson is an important number in the Standard Model, the body of laws that describes the dynamics between subatomic particles. When physicists try to understand the nature of supersymmetry, which is something I think they've proven by now, or they're trying to prove the existence of a particle called the Z boson, or calculate particle interactions, they call upon the mass of W. Supersymmetry suggests that in addition to all known particles, supersymmetric partner particles exist, called sparticles. These differ from the normal partners by half a unit of spin, one of the fundamental characteristics of elementary particles, also known as the God particle. The Higgs boson is thought to generate a field that permeates space and imbues all the matter in the universe with mass. Physicists are hot on its trail at CERN laboratory in Switzerland, but it hasn't yet been positively identified. The CDF team will announce the results of its own direct research for the Higgs particle in 2 weeks. So we'll have to take a look and see if that's up yet or not. The mass of the top quark is known with a margin error of 1%. The new improvement in the measurement of the mass of the W boson has therefore heightened the range and possible values of the mass of the Higgs. And so February 29, 2012, my thoughts. Actually, sorry, that was on msnbc.com under technology and science, okay? So my thoughts. I find it quite amusing that you've named it the God particle, when you're trying to prove that the universe was created by the Big Bang Theory. so that you can rule out a higher form, aka God, being responsible for saying, let there be light, and there was light. Can you imagine if a human could do the same by speaking words? I think the reason we can't is we've got so many emotions rolling around in us that if someone ticked us off, we'd say, I wish he'd drop dead, and the guy would. Okay, so there's the tags. Again, it's all the videos together. This is the last of this section here. The next video is going to be line 18A, 3z2c. I still have to research it, okay?